Okay, everybody, thanks for showing up tonight. We're here to talk about the legalities of the Phase Out the Power Plant initiative. So I hope you came with questions, and if not, we'll put in some so that some frequently asked questions that we've heard out there. My name's Jim Light. I'm with Building a Better Redondo. I'm one of the co-authors of the initiative. We've got folks here from No Power Plant. Sherry, let's stand up. And Dawn. And Leslie in the back. Before we get into the question and answer period, I was going to let Councilman Bill Brand just speak a little bit about where we're at today for those of you who haven't been following on a day-to-day basis. So, Bill.
Thanks, Jim, and thanks for coming, everybody. First, I want to point out fellow council members here, Matt Kilroy. See you, Matt. There he is, right there, from District 5. So we're happy to have a councilman from North Redondo to come out and take interest. It's been a long road. I can go back over 2 years when I was requesting that the council look at our zoning options, and over many months of cajoling and studying and looking at reports and talking to Energy Commission staff and such, you know, it was quite clear that AES would be looking to rebuild their power plant. And I knew, well, I felt anyway, I didn't know for sure, that most of the community did not want to see another power plant there. So here we are, our council never acted, and so ultimately, down the wire, we ended up writing a citizen initiative to do what I was hoping the council would do, which staff recommended 8 years ago. But basically, it phases out industrial uses on our waterfront. It rezones the land, gives them a proper phase-out period, and people are going to vote on it next March, which is a great thing, because there's nothing more powerful than a public vote. And I got to give kudos to Sherry, Dawn, and Leslie again, because it was the efforts of those 3 women who really got energized, and I was just so impressed with how they got up to speed on the very technical aspects of this. And it's not easy, it takes a long time, but boy, if you're driven and really, you know, concerned, which they were, you can do it. So where are we? It's going to be on the ballot in March. There's going to be a huge campaign. I am sure AES is going to be spending hundreds of thousands of dollars. I would venture they've spent over $100,000 already. They definitely want to build a new plant there, and the only thing in their way is this vote. And the president of AES came to our meeting on Tuesday. He called all this a big distraction, basically, quote unquote, called it a distraction. And so I'm hoping it's much more than that come March 6th. But there are a lot of questions, and one of them, obviously, is about the legality of it. We've heard that from day one. Will Redondo get sued? Is this legal? You can't take somebody's property. You got one council member Deals, is saying that we basically have to buy it for, you know, tremendous amounts of money. Otherwise, they get to build their plant, which just isn't true. I mean, one of the main tenets of being an elected official is to protect the public health. And so one of the ways you do that is you look at the uses that are going on in your town, and you try to improve those so that you know, you're just protecting the public health. And so one of our seminars we'll have next, we're going to have a couple. This one is on personal property rights and rezoning. Another one will be on air quality and air pollution and the impacts of that. So I'll save that for another meeting. But anyway, I really appreciate the 3 attorneys we have here. They're all very experienced and well accomplished and very knowledgeable about this, and spent much of their careers doing this sort of thing. So Jim and I are particularly happy to have someone else answering these questions, because we can talk till we're blue in the face, but you know, we're not experts, and we already know we don't want to have a power plant there. So with that, I guess I'll turn it back over to Jim, and I really want to thank everybody for coming.
Thanks, Bill. I want to introduce our esteemed panel of legal experts here. I'm very pleased they're here tonight at no charge to us, so they're donating their time to our community, and we really appreciate that. So a round of applause for Mr. Gallagher. On the left is Frank Angel. He's been the attorney for BBR since we started Measure DD. So when I say I crafted it, it's really, I gave him some words and he put it into legalese. Well, Bill and I would give him words, and he put it into the legalese, and has done a great job for us. He also defended us, led the lawsuit against the city that made them put Measure G on the ballot, and won resoundingly. 4 judges on our side, none on theirs. So great job, Frank. Zaino Baji is here, and he ran for public office, and unfortunately didn't make it, but we want to help him make it next time, and we appreciate you being here. And then Haney Fangary from Hermosa Beach, who also ran for public office in Hermosa Beach. And with that, what I'd like you to do, if you could just pass the mic down and just give your background a little bit on each of you before we get into the questions. No, you first.
All right, the short guy will start. My name is Haney Fangary. I am technically an environmental attorney, so when people say today it's going to be land use attorneys speaking, I'm speaking partly on the environmental issue that pertains to the AES power plant. I did study property law in law school, so I do have some information about property law and takings, etc. So, but I'll let the two gentlemen to my left address this issue. Quick background, I was an engineer before I went to law school. I was a construction engineer and environmental engineer. Actually, I was an environmental engineer for 9 years during law school. I went to law school at night. And then after graduating from law school, I've done primarily environmental law for the last 15 years or so. In that work, I have worked with various government agencies that we'll be dealing with in the AES power plant issue. I've dealt with the Air Quality Management District, the Regional Water Quality Control Board, the Department of Toxic Substances Control, and various other smaller government agencies that oversee cleanup and toxic waste, etc. So to the extent when you go through this process, you guys have specific questions regarding the environmental issues of the AES power plant and what potential changes will happen, whether it's a power plant or other development, I'll be happy to answer those questions. Thank you.
Hello everybody, I'm Zaino Baji, and thank you for being here. And I'd also like to echo Bill's words regarding Leslie, Don, and Sherry. They've done an amazing job, and frankly for me, restored confidence in the fact that when citizens get together, when they're active, when they're attentive to what's happening in their community, they can affect change no matter how much money's on the other side of the equation. So hats off to you ladies. I'm Zaino Baji. I practice law here in Los Angeles, have my own practice. I started off practicing with the firm called Allen, Matkins, Leck, Gamble, Mallory, and Notsis, which is California's largest real estate firm and most preeminent. I was doing land use law, which comes in handy here. I currently have a diverse practice that occasionally touches on constitutional law, dealing with international contract disputes, and the like, and our property rights are protected by the Constitution. So ultimately, this comes down to what can you do with regard to land, and how is that going to affect the landowner, and can you do it or can't you? Are you taking something away from them? So we'll get into the details of that, and the fact that rezoning is not a taking and has never been held to be a taking, either by the Supreme Court of the United States or the Supreme Court of California. But besides just giving you that kind of big overview, we will drill down on the details here and give you our legal opinion.
Hi, I'm Frank Angel. Many of you probably know me from the battle to get Measure G on the ballot. I'm an environmental attorney, represent primarily plaintiffs in matters of environmental disclosure like CEQA, land use and planning law. Clients from as big as the Sierra Club to BBR to small homeowners associations or individuals. And I've also practiced in sunshine laws, which is matters such as Brown Act compliance or Public Records Act litigation. And thanks to the city of Redondo Beach, and before that BBR, have also become somewhat of an expert in election law, which I enjoyed very much. Again, thanks to the city of Redondo Beach, this time I don't have to put that into practice or into court because obviously everyone in this room is very happy about the decision of the City Council 2 days ago, which was absolutely the correct legal decision, as not just me, but many other attorneys have concluded before the City Council made its decision.
Okay, thanks. So we'll get right into questions. The way we're going to do this is I'd like, if you have a question, to raise your hand. Leslie has a wireless mic, and she'll let you speak into the mic and ask your question so that everybody can hear it. And then what we'll do is we'll let each of you pass it down, and you're welcome to pass on a question if you want, but we'd like all three opinions. And if you start getting too long-winded, I may bring out the old shepherd's crook and pull you off the stage. Okay, with that, anybody have a first question they want to ask, or do you want me to ask the first and obvious one? Okay, we've got one in the back there.
In regards to the election in March, is it a simple majority, or is there some super majority you need, or what does it? How many votes are needed?
That's a simple one, a simple majority. What BBR and No PowerPoint, the community, had to achieve was 15% of the registered voters had to sign the petition. And that was a number somewhere between 5,500 and 6,000, I think.
It was just under 6,000.
Just under 6,000, and you got far more, but you got the minimum, thereby the minimum of 15%. But now the vote will just be 50% plus one vote of those who go to the ballot on March 5.
Yeah, so of those who vote on the measure, 50% of them have to vote for it. So it doesn't require, there's 40,000 voters. If only 5,000 vote, we got to get 2,501 on that issue. So did that answer your question, sir?
Oh, yes.
Okay, and if you give your name so we in the community can get to know each other, I'd appreciate that. What's your name?
Paul Hayashi.
Paul Hayashi? Okay, thanks for your question. Anybody else have a question?